like that much fun. I thought about like, you know, being inside the research to do something about industrialization or something. Well, but that was so much fun. Yeah. But that's thank you. Final group.
Cool. All right. Every group, as many groups in this class, so every group take your jug of water, please. We're going to do some research now. Every group take your jug of water, please. Now I want every group that has a jug of water here, would you all please just hit your jug? Hit your jug. I want to see what happens. Now what's happening? What's happening in the jug? Sound. Sound. Let's go. Where is the sound coming from? Music. Isn't this music? Yeah. Where's this coming from? Why is this happening?
We're hitting it. We're hitting it.
Yeah. So where's it coming from? Where's the sound coming out from? Coming out from the hole. Very good, John. It's interesting. I want every group. I want you to try putting every group put half a liter of water. Pretend water. Put half a liter of water in your jug. I want to see what happens. Half a liter in there. Okay. Measure it. Make sure it's accurate. Good. Good. Now hit your jug again. Let's see what happens. The sound's higher pitch. The sound's a higher pitch. That's interesting. The sound's a higher pitch. Higher pitch. Higher. Google it. Prove it. Higher pitch. All right. I'll prove it to you right now. I'll show you. Okay, guys. What do we know about sound? What did we learn yesterday? What is sound? What is sound made up of? Waves. Very good. And and you know, think of what, you know, a short wave or a long wave. What is that called? Sound waves. Yeah. And it's the length of the wave. What is that called? It's with F. Frequency. Very good. So if the wave is shorter, what do we have? We have a higher frequency. The higher frequency would be a higher pitch. Very good. Interesting. Just looking it up. That's my oh, sorry. That's 6th grade science. My bad.
6th grade science. Thank you very much.
Whereas if I was given maybe a day to think about it, I would really confused.
Maybe we're just more creative because we can think of it in like 10.
This is true, Ryan. Maybe I'm too old.
No, remember what we said earlier. It depends on each person. Some people it takes more time. Some people just come up like that. And then we understand. That's why we try to walk around and see if you're okay. And that's why when you say you're still struggling, we wanted to give you a little more time. But unfortunately, we have to really run on with our presentation. So I wish I could give you more time.
Oh no, I'm not saying that we have to do. What I'm saying is it points something out to me that you have to give some people more time to do things when you're in class. So then to come up with their novel thought, their original idea.
So you think you will last
Now push someone to be.
And this actually links to what we talked about earlier. Remember when I show up the list here, creativity pillar. One of them is the constrained environment, and one of the things that makes the environment feel constrained is the time. I mean, the way teachers teach, and also the time teachers give to students. Yes.
3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 habits of highly effective teachers. No, I didn't put it that way. That just came out. But I wrote 7 words or 7 groups of words on the board, and I'll tell you tonight I was taken aback by that. Actually, I learned an awful lot, and it was an extremely powerful presentation in virtually all respects. And I'll be honest with you, I wrote pages and pages of notes. You can see them here of positive things. I'll put my picture of Crystal aside. Of positive things from this, and it went on and on and on and on. And so I thought maybe I better figure out a way to be thematic with this because people do want to go home probably tonight. So that's what I've done. I put 7 themes themes on the board, and I want to talk about these themes, and I suggest actually it might be worthwhile even for some of you to take notes on some of this, because I think that a lot of what we saw is exemplary practice and will be very useful for you, for all of us, me too for that matter, to improve and enhance what we're doing. So, positive language, over and over and over again. It was throughout, right from the beginning of the presentation to the end. The language was gentle. There were things like, do you mind if I include this? When some points that differed from what the class said were about to be discussed. Or can we move on to this? When things were getting a little off track and there was a need to bring the group back to what was being done. Or could I add this? The language over and over again from both of these individuals, David and Ern, was very, very positive. When it was possible that there could be some friction with something, it was kind of like using language almost like an oil in an engine. You know, if you put oil in an engine, it's so that the pistons will not grind and so that the gears will move smoothly to keep things going along. The language was used to set positive expectations, belief that you can do this. Some people saying, I don't think I can do this, I'm a zero. You're not a zero in creativity. I know you're creative. I know that there's aspects that you haven't thought of that are there, right? Is that this language created this wonderful flow through the whole presentation. The second point, preparation. In the world of sports, there's a coach who's passed on now. I believe it was the former Green Bay Packers coach, Vince Lombardi, who made a comment many years ago, because he was very successful and his teams won and won and won, and he was asked about what created some of the success. He said, the will to win is nothing without the will to prepare to win. I'll say that again, very powerful. The will to win is nothing without the will to prepare to win. There are several things I noticed. Where are your cards? Can I have your cards for a minute? There's several things I noticed. I tend to keep an eye on things that maybe people don't think I'm watching, but I watch everything. As this was going on, and I saw these cards. These cards, I noticed, have the slides on them, of course, right? But also, what was done with these, and I think both of you had this type of cards, is that there were notes on possible points that could be made. Is that maybe if the discussion goes in this direction, we'll talk about some of these things. Okay? The preparation in virtually every aspect, the excellence of the slides, the visuals were easy to follow, the language used, not putting too many words on the slide. Many of the things that we've gone over in presentations, and probably because they went later, it helped them in the sense that you were picking up things as you went along, but they were actually really picking them up and learning them and applying them. And the other thing is, this sort of piece points tied together, but there was tremendous congruence in this presentation. The expectation was that we would have this creativity. I found myself, as I told you, I shared this with you. I know that it's not a very good picture, okay, but I go back to that point again. I'm sorry, I don't mean to embarrass you, Crystal. I'm just using it as a demonstration. I don't mean to, I hope I'm not. But the point being is that I looked at my picture and actually started to think it wasn't too bad as the presentation progressed. Okay? Now, did I become a better artist? No. But what happened? What happened is, inside my own internal processes, started to look at something and say, there's a different way to see this. There's other eyes to look at this. And that is what was being done. The congruence in saying, this is what you're going to do. And the body language that really showed that the belief was there that you could do it. And that's why some of the things that happened in here tonight happened. Like people that don't normally like to speak out, speaking out. Like people that perhaps have great ideas, I'm sure they do, but they don't feel as comfortable sharing them at times. We're sharing them throughout. That's why that happened. It was the congruence that created